This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Thanks to Squarespace for supporting the channel. Alright, let's do this. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is full of hidden details and Easter eggs. And since posting my last few videos with a bunch of Easter eggs in the game, I found a bunch more. And thanks to some of you guys who also left comments on my last videos with details in the game I didn't know about. Some of those will be on this list. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Okay, so first up, the guitar Cal plays near the start of the game is no ordinary guitar. It's called a 7-string Halixet and was first seen in The Force Awakens. The instrument was played by Sudswater Dilafay Glon. Yeah, that's his real name, who played in the band in Maz's Castle on Takodana alongside Tabin Ralosa, Ubert Quarrel, and Infrablue Zed Betty Coggins. What a band. Ultimate combination. Fun fact, Sudswater Dilafay Glon is a playable character in LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, and even uses the 7-string Halixet as his weapon, although I don't think he can actually play it in the game, he can hit things with it. In Fallen Order, the 7-string Halixet belongs to Cere Junda, and Cal plays it using his Force Echo ability, being able to experience past events by simply touching an object. Okay, next up, there's a scene towards the beginning of the game where Cal learns he must search for the holocron containing the names of the next generation of Jedi. And in this scene, Cere goes and finds a holocron she owns to show Cal what it looks like. The holocron plays this message from Obi-Wan.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen.
And this is the exact same message we see in Star Wars Rebels. Kanan Jarrus opens the holocron and plays this.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen.
Obi-Wan's voice recording is exactly the same. It's the same sound file used in both. I really like how they're tying together different Star Wars media like this to build a larger narrative. It's really cool. They're building up the Star Wars universe. There's an Easter egg on Ilum you've probably come across while exploring this icy planet, but you might not have known its meaning. Near where you enter the cave, you can climb all the way to the top of this climbing wall where you'll find a small memorial. If you interact with this, there's a Force Echo from Master Ma T. Cameron. The level designer, Nicholas Cameron, put this in the game as a tribute to his late father, Martin Cameron. The Echo reads, a memorial placed at a meditation site often used by the venerable Jedi Master Marty Bucky Cameron. He returned here many times over the course of his life to reflect on his adventures and achievements. The Aurebesh letters you see here on the memorial translate to Marty. And on his Twitter, Nicholas Cameron shared that his father Marty was an old school games industry artist who worked on LucasArts titles like Monkey Island and X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter. I think it's really special he was able to honor his father as a Jedi and put him in Jedi Fallen Order. Rest in peace, Bucky. And while we're on Ilum, to go deeper into the cave during the story, you need to figure out how to melt the ice using the light's reflection off the crystal hanging in the middle of the room. This is taken directly from the Clone Wars episode The Gathering, where Yoda and Ahsoka take a group of Padawans to Ilum to build their own lightsabers. Yoda uses the Force to open a window, let the light in, which bounces off the giant crystal and opens the door to the crystal cave. After this, the Padawans embark on a journey to find their crystals, similar to Cal's journey in Jedi Fallen Order on Ilum. And this episode of the Clone Wars is actually the first canonical appearance of Ilum, but it was first seen in Tartakovsky's Clone Wars cartoon aired in 2003 and 2004. Luminara Unduli supervises her Padawan Barriss Offee as she builds her own lightsaber, but they're soon ambushed by separatists, and Yoda eventually comes to save the day. This TV show is epic. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. This was a huge part of my childhood. I watched these so many times. It's also crazy to think that such a sacred place for the Jedi eventually became Starkiller Base, confirmed in Jedi Fallen Order once you return to Ilum. This blows my mind every time I go back to that planet. You can see the giant cutting through the middle of the planet. So towards the end of Jedi Fallen Order's story, Cal is knighted a Jedi by Cere, who says the words,
by the right of the Council, by the will of the Force,
This knighting ceremony is only the second time this has appeared in Star Wars canon. The first was in Star Wars Rebels, in the episode Shroud of Darkness, where after fighting with the Jedi Temple Guard, Kanan is knighted, and the Temple Guard speaks the words,
"By the right of the Council, by the will of the Force."
But this isn't the first time these words have been said in Star Wars. Anakin's knighting ceremony was depicted in also the Clone Wars cartoon.
By the right of the Council, by the will of the Force.
And there have been various other instances of this throughout Star Wars Legends, in books, Knights of the Old Republic, lots more knighting ceremonies. There's a lot of Jedi going around, so they've been doing this for a while. So on Kashyyyk, the second time you visit the planet, your objective is to find Tarful and Mari in the Shadowlands. And the Shadowlands were first depicted in video game form in Knights of the Old Republic, all the way back in 2003. Here, you could explore the Shadowlands, walk around in the shadows, and some of this is what's inspired the Shadowlands in Jedi Fallen Order. But the Shadowlands first appeared in the Wookiee storybook, published all the way back in 1979. This is a children's picture book following Lumpy, Chewbacca's son, as he went on an adventure to pick wasaka berries for Chewie's 200th birthday. And I've realized I definitely need to get myself a copy of this. Anything to do with Lumpy is going to be amazing. And speaking of Wookiees, did you know that Jaro Tapal's species design was inspired by the original concept art for Chewbacca? All the way back in 1975, the illustrator Ralph McQuarrie was responsible for designing the look of much of the Star Wars we see today, including Darth Vader, stormtroopers, lightsabers, R2-D2, C-3PO, and the Lasat species design is heavily inspired by this image of an early Chewbacca here. The first Lasat to appear in Star Wars was Zeb from Star Wars Rebels. And Jaro Tapal actually has a line of dialogue that's a cheeky nod to George Lucas. During Jedi Fallen Order's flashback sequences where Cal is training, Jaro Tapal will sometimes say the words faster, more intensity.
Faster, more intensity.
This is some of the only direction George Lucas would give his actors while directing A New Hope. A lot of people say George Lucas was mostly quiet on set and not the most hands-on actor-director. And some of the actors have actually spoken about this in interviews.
Faster and more intense, that was his main direction.
George is notorious for saying, after a take, do it again, faster, more intensity.
Pretty funny seeing this little reference in the game. Very cheeky from the devs. Okay, now I want to take a look at a few more of the poncho designs you guys have pointed out to me. The Homestead poncho is based on the design of the ceiling of Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru's kitchen, as seen in A New Hope. This has to be one of the most random Easter eggs I've ever seen, but there you go. It's the same pattern right there. Also, the Fjord poncho might be a reference to Travis Willingham's D&D character in Critical Role. Travis Willingham is the voice actor for Jaro Tapal, and the D&D character Fjord has a green skin tone, and this is kind of green, I guess, so maybe they're related. Next, a few BD1 skins. The Sumi paint job and poncho are likely references to Neon Genesis Evangelion, an anime series from the 90s. This looks like the EVA Unit 1, and the pink poncho looks like Mari's plug suit from the show. Also, BD1 has an appearance called Vanguard, which you can only get with Origin Access, so I don't have it. But this is a reference to BT-7274 from Titanfall 2, another Respawn game. BT-7274 is a Vanguard class Titan, so that's why they named it Vanguard. And here's a few bonuses for you. I missed these in the last video. The mercenary appearance for the Stinger Mantis is based on Jango Fett's Slave 1 paint job. Last video, I only mentioned the Boba Fett reference. And also, there's a few silver paint jobs which make the Mantis look similar to some of the Nubian starships we see in the prequels, so there you go. So now I'd like to thank Squarespace for sponsoring these last couple of Easter egg videos. Great getting support for the channel. Squarespace is an easy to use tool for building your own website. If you're looking to start a brand or a business or a project, Squarespace can help make it easy to share your work because Building a website from scratch can be really hard. I've done it before, it's a real challenge, but Squarespace makes it easy. Go to squarespace.com/bombastic and use the code BOMBASTIC to get 10% off your first purchase, and there's details about that in the description. And don't forget, if you'd like to discover more of Jedi Fallen Order's Easter eggs, I've already created a few videos just like this one. You can find them on my channel. And let me know in the comments if I've missed any more details that you know about and I don't. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.